We'll see.
You know, whatever you create, you basically have a ceiling to how high any badge can go. But you automatically get bronze badge right off rip. So as you play the game, and they'll also go down if you don't do things. So that's just how the game works now, and it's going to be a lot more interesting. People, how their badges kind of
based.
Yeah, it's more like real life, and that's what we really wanted to try and model, was that you don't really just like go into a game saying like, I'm good at this and this and this. You work on a skill, right? And so as you work on your skills in 2K, you're going to get good at that skill, and that's the way it should be, I think.
So talk about the approach to changing up the system. Was it more for like a balancing standpoint, or how did you guys approach this new badge system?
Yeah, it's something we've wanted to do for a while. Just in generally, we wanted to see what it would be like instead of making a player that was kind of set in your ways. It's something that adapted to the way you played. So this is kind of the first step, and I think they're going to like it too. So we'll see how it goes this year.
So it sounds to me when players are getting their squads ready for the park or maybe playing in rec or pro-am, you have to think about the players that you're going in with. You can't come with 3 offensive powerhouses. You got to think defense too. So talk a little bit about the defensive badges and how players can improve their defense.
Yeah, there's a ton of new badges, Chris. One of the ones that I liked a lot, we talked about this in the last episode, was the Right Stick defense is back. So Right Stick stealing is back. There's a new badge called Right Stick Ripper, that as you get steals, as you get knockaways with the Right Stick stealing, you're going to see that badge level up. And so there's just so many ways you can mold your player and so many different badges in the game that you're going to see move up and down based on how you play. I think it's going to be cool to see Locks kind of get their badges up and get cramping down on all the offensive players this year.
All right, I'd love to hear these new defensive badges. It's going to make people think about how they play defense a little smarter, it sounds like, more of a skill gap. What about offense, Mike? What are some of your favorite offensive badges in the game this year?
Yeah, well, I think I've been doing a lot of slashing lately. So some of my favorite moves are Euro steps and hop step layups. And we have a lot more, just basically, we call them wins, where you're blowing by the defense if you're good enough at them and doing the right situations. So one is called Bunny, that's for hop steps. 2-step is for Euro steps, and we have Spin Cycle for spin layups. And there's some of the coolest content when you level those badges up and you start to blow by your defenders with those moves. So some of my favorites, at least.
I'm going to be doing that a lot.
Yeah, they work really well, and they're fun to do.
So as you know, Mike, there's going to be a lot of people out there making their My Players for the first time. Some of the badge system might be a little intimidating. So what advice would you give to new players coming in to create their My Player?
Yeah, so one of the best things that I think we've added for the new player this year is NBA player templates. So you can jump into the builder, and one of the first options you'll see is create your own custom build or create an NBA template. And you can go right in there and pick from some of the best players in the league, and you're ready to go. You'll have all the attributes that they would have in the game, and just jump in.
And I remember in the past when people made players in previous 2Ks, you would say play style like X player or Y player, right? So now you can actually go in and select from those templates and build your character so you kind of know what you're going into.
Exactly. Say you want to be a point guard, you want to be Luka. You can pick Luka, go right in there and just have the attributes that are assigned to him right now. Or if you want, you can customize that build. So start with Luka and then make some tweaks to whatever you want to take away from his game and add to your game, for example. So the sky's the limit, but for new players, it's going to be a lot easier just to jump in there. And even the badges. So that was kind of overwhelming last year to think about, what are all the badges that I have to equip for my player? Now it's just like, what do I want to be good at? Let me just play the game and see my badges grow. So I think for new players, actually, the system is going to be a little more easy to understand.
All right, so the community's out there. We know My Player builds are going wild right now. What advice would you give to new players creating a build that they want to play? Should they look at attributes first, badges first? Like, how should players approach that?
Yeah, I think you got to kind of look at your player holistically. So, and this is always true, I think, before too, but think about what you want to do on the court, think about what you want to be great at, play around with the sliders on the attributes, and check out what levels your badges can get to. And make sure the ones that you really want to focus on are going to get high enough for you. And that's just play to your strengths. That's the best way to go about it.
I love that. I want to score 62 in 3 quarters. You know what I'm saying, Mike?
It's your game.
That's what I got to do.
And one other thing that